Hi guys, I'm back, and as you can see I got my stuff spread about and I'm just in the groove. I was doing a Bible study and I came across something. I just went down a rabbit hole. You know how that goes. I finished the book I was working on, decided to jump into skip to Revolutions I should say, with all that's happening in the world. And of course, and then I got there and I was doing the prep work, like to, for the next book. And then something said, hey, I think it was Bible Ref or whatever, was like, go read Matthew 24 and 25 first. So I did that, got to 25, and then I had to stop and grab you guys for a minute because I had an epiphany. Like we do. I mean, okay, and this is, I know those of you who are, should I say, what's the right word? Bible fluent or more practiced than I am, okay, have already got this message, so this might be old hat for you, but I'm just blown away because here I am, back to Matthew, which I've already read last year. It was actually, instead of like studying it like this, I was commuting. So it was the year before I was doing commuting and listening to Bible on tape, basically, the audio books. And I did not get this out of that. This message I got today, I'm revisiting it and I'm like, holy cannoli, look where I'm at. So I wanted to share it because reading this in preparation for what is to come, the end times and stuff, the parable of the bags of gold, I always thought that was about money. That was about resources. That was about being a good steward of what God gave you. And today when I read it, that is not the message I got. Today when I read it, I was looking at it and it says, okay, again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. In that case, when we're saying entrusted his wealth, and I'm just going to highlight that because that's my process, it is not talking about wealth. It's a parable. So in the story, it's wealth, but it's really talking about God entrusting our gifts, like the gifts God's given to us. And there's the spiritual gifts, and our talents and our everything that he blesses us with. But it's beyond that. It's about our faith, right? So he gives he gives 5 bags to one person, 2 bags to another, and then 1 bag to the last guy. So the 5 guy does his thing, brings back 5 more. The master's happy, servant did his good work, carry about. Okay, so then the second guy. Okay, it says that these, it says that he gave these bags, right here, each according to his ability. So one guy he gave 5, the other guy he gave 2, and then the last guy he gave 1. Now, it was not to overwhelm them, right? So the first guy, he gave 5 to, the guy brought 5 more, fantastic. Then the second guy, he only gave 2 to, right? Because maybe that's all he had the bandwidth for. Like, here is your wealth, and that wealth not being money, but that wealth being your gifts, your faith, your everything else. Go out into the world and do something with it and bring something back to me. And so if we're doing it in measurement, say God gave him 2 cups of faith. He went out into the world. He gave 2 people a cup of faith and brought 2 people back with him, sort of thing. Like, so and I know that's a weird analogy, but in my brain, that's where I went, right? Like, so God gave us these things to pour out into the world and bring back to him. And so that's why the last guy, like, I never understood, like, everybody else risked something and that, yes, it worked out for them, but I never understood until today with my highlighter, why the master, okay, we're all talking parables, so I always knew that the master was, God. Why he would be upset that the last guy didn't risk anything. He chose not to risk anything and protected the money. And it's not till I'm old and, 54 years later, reading the Bible many, many, many years of this life, that I understood the meaning of that. And I wanted to share it with you guys because, goodness, it's about, he doesn't want us to, it's not, oh man, they say this, there's so many places in the Bible where we're talking about the same thing, but using a different message so that it hits you. But this person with the one bag of gold went and hid his light under a bushel, right? Or whatever you want to say it. He didn't spread the gifts that God gave to him. He huddled them around like a squirrel in a tree, hid it and buried it and protected it, and then nothing came of it. And then he handed it back to God in the same condition it was given to him. And that is just a disappointment, right? And that's what it's saying. The master is like, you didn't do anything. I gave you this blessing and you did nothing with it. You didn't share it with people. You did nothing. And yes, and I always wondered about the risk, like, isn't not risking your gift a good thing? I never put the two together, that we weren't talking about money here. I'm slow on the uptake sometimes. But the fact that we're talking about God gave us these blessings, and then if we hide them away and nothing comes from it, and then at the end days, we're standing there in front of God going, yep, this is what you gave me, and this is what I did with it. Oh man, I don't want to be standing in front of the pearly gates saying, I didn't do anything with the blessings you gave me, Lord. Oh, no, I don't want that. So now I understand what this parable meant. And that when God comes, we need to not just be prepared ourselves, but we need to have prepared others for his coming. We need to make sure that we're taking the blessings, the things that the Lord has given us. And it could be finances, right? But it's so much more. It's our faith in general, all of the blessings, our faith, our love. Excuse my dog moaning in the background. We're going to ignore that because this is much more important. The faith and the love found that we have an opportunity to bring others to God using those things. So these are tools. You can think of it however you want it, but there are things that when God gives it to us, we are meant to go take it into the world and bring back the fruit of our faith, right? We take it out into the world. We do something with it. We sow it. We water it. We multiply it. We, whatever you got to do with it, build on it. But when you bring it back and you show it to God again, we want others to be attached to it now. We want that. We want what we were given to have had purpose. We want what we were given to have blessed not just us. That's what I'm trying to say. The blessings God gives us are not meant for us. We are the conduit. And we are to take those blessings and we are to shoot them out into the world. And then when we come back, there's the blessing that we got from God that we can say, thank you for this blessing, but look, here's this other blessing that came of it. And yeah, that's my point. That's what I got out of today's reading. I'd love to hear in the comments down below what you've gotten out of this passage, or any other passage that you've read 1,000 times or heard talked over, prayed over, the pastor speak in a sermon on 1,000 times, and then you sit down and you read it, and all of a sudden the Holy Spirit goes whoosh, and now you are like, that's what you meant. Love those moments. Have a blessed day. I hope that you get something out of me sharing these epiphanies, these life lessons, these whatever you want to call them. the Holy Spirit, what I'm learning through God's living word, sharing it with you, and hoping I can just, again, hand you my sack of gold, because it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for the world. Have a blessed day. Bye.